Warning: this program may contain explicit language that may be considered offensive or inappropriate to children and some adults.
The following content is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, y'all. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Geekin Out, everybody. So we are back with another episode. Last week we did musicals with Christopher. It was awesome. We had a good time. We were down a couple people, but we our trusty a couple. Well, one for sure, but you know, like we didn't have like our extra.
We didn't have a guest host today.
We didn't have a guest either, but so that's what I was saying. It was, you know, we were a strong three. Anyhow, we have our lovely Duryea back. We're happy to have him back. He's in good health and things.
Yeah, I'm in a great mood today.
He's in good health though and things. So there is that. Has anyone tried the chicken? It's really good. Okay, so I'm Julian. By the way, you're here geeking out with us. I am a video game nerdy sciencey geek, I guess, magic and things. So that is my qualifications, I suppose. Otherwise, I have next to me on your right, my left, Ricky Z. She is a mom, educator, social media amazing person. also a huge geek, obviously. She's here for actually I think covers a few things that I feel like a lot of us don't, like Steven Universe and stuff. I mean, I'll totally get into with you, but you know, I think it's the mom side of her, but it's nice. We like it. We'll take it. We've got Chris. Otherwise, he was leading us last week, not last week, last episode at least. He's actually a pretty big theater buff as well. Anime geek, things like that. So he's a newly HR manager, perhaps.
Not really newly anymore. It's been like a year now, isn't it?
Okay, it's like a year now.
It's been 6 months.
No shade. Okay,
6 months. Okay,
it happened a while ago.
Well, what is time anymore? We've been in COVID.
What is time? I know.
Yeah, time.
I know. I feel like it's all just kind of congealed together at this point. Otherwise, we have Duryea. He's in great spirits today.
Everything has gone perfectly today. This is
everything is awesome.
Right,
everything is great when you're part of a team. I love that song anyway. Whatever. That movie is also amazing. By
the Lego movie.
We could probably do a Lego movie. Yes. Yeah, we could do like a whole Lego movie saga probably.
We could do a Lego movie thing as long as nobody cancels.
Oh, no one will cancel. We will all be there. But we could.
We can't do this, guys. We can't do it.
It's so well produced.
We're having a moment, guys.
Okay, otherwise then our guest judge, wow.
What are we judging?
We're judging the Mortal Kombat.
What are we?
Wow,
we are though.
That's pretty much actually. Because I didn't get to watch the movie, everybody. So what the conversation was gonna be was me being like a huge action buff and loving everything about Mortal Kombat.
And that's exactly what I was going
But since I didn't see the movie, it's literally just gonna be the four of them.
We're gonna miss out on Duryea being like, it was awesome and I loved it and this and that.
I can tell from a preview. I can tell from a preview whether I'm gonna like a movie or not. Really, I can.
And this preview says what to you so far?
Well, to me, I can't think of any movie. I'm pretty sure it's like one or two, but they weren't action movies. I can't think of any action movie that I saw a preview to and was like, oh, that's gonna be good, and I didn't like, because I don't really expect a lot from action movies. I literally expect fighting and explosions. Charmed is my favorite TV show.
Yeah.
Like really the reason I like Charmed. Y'all seen the meme where it's like every other scene in Charmed. This woman flying. You're right. That's why I watch Charmed, because every other scene, someone's getting tossed around. Like that's what I want. That's what I got. So I was fine.
So to be fair though, like it took me like 3 tries to watch the Mortal Kombat movie. And we'll talk about this later, but like it did. Like the first 2 times, like I literally fell asleep. Like I had to sit. I had to sit and do my hair to actually focus on it. Like
wait, you fell asleep even with the Gremlins? They weren't watching it.
They were not watching it. No.
Oh, because you won't let your kids watch something like that.
I ended up letting Forrest watch a little bit of it towards the end.
It's crazy because that
was like the worst part of it too.
See, I had the type of black parents that would, well, not my daddy, he was Jehovah's Witness, so we couldn't even watch the Power Rangers, child. But with my mom was this type of mama, like you could watch it until the part came up. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Let me cover.
No, don't move your head neither. Yeah. I had those kind of parents, so I watched all the kind of bad stuff that I wasn't supposed to watch.
But only with them. Like you couldn't watch it by yourself. But if you were with them, they wanted to watch it. Because then it was like
they could instruct you when to close your eyes.
Yeah. Well, all that did was let me know that when they was at work, I could put the VHS back in, and I knew exactly what part to go to and not cover my eyes. Yep.
Stop.
Well,
that's what they didn't want me.
Luckily,
to see.
like he can't go back and like try to find it and watch it right now. So
I know, right?
Because it's on HBO Max.
Oh, so it's not HBO Max.
It's right now.
That's why I didn't get to watch the movie, because I went to watch it today and they took it off HBO Max.
Right.
What is that about?
It's crazy because you know what's funny? The universe is teasing me because I got HBO Max specifically to watch Wonder Woman 84. Specifically to watch Wonder Woman 84. And then when I finally sat down to watch it, it wasn't on HBO Max. So today when I go to see whether Mortal Kombat is on there, Mortal Kombat is not there, but guess what's now back on HBO?
I was about to say, because it's on there.
Now Wonder Woman 84 is the universe is like
so they're doing, because I think what they're doing is they cycle like new releases.
Yeah.
The way you would at a theater, you know what I mean? You're only gonna be able to see it in new release for however long, and then when it comes out on video streaming, I suppose that's when it'll just come back to HBO.
So basically, what we're telling y'all is that if you are trying to watch a movie on HBO Max, watch that shit the day it drops.
Yeah, you gotta do it like when it comes out soon.
The day after. Don't try to watch this shit no later.
Look, I gotta wait till after payday to watch Cruella on Disney Plus now.
Oh, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it yet. Don't talk about it.
I'm sorry. We stole the show from Julian, go ahead.
I mean, let's not talk about it yet. I'm sorry.
We're gonna get there. Okay, so what was I doing? Dante. Okay, so I was also introducing Dante, who has been here a number of times. So he's a resident geek as well. He's on a few of our other sister network shows. So I mean, not network.
Sister network.
Network.
I love a network.
I didn't know we had a sister network.
Network's sister shows. There we go. Okay, so sorry,
and he will be hosting Geeking Out this week, actually.
Howdy,
which I'm terrified about. I was
no, you don't understand how I got.
He's got notes. He's got a scroll.
He did have a scroll. He pulled out his scroll before we're us. It was nice. There's Chris with his. Yeah. Okay, so we are here at Geeking Out. So now that we've done some introductions, I suppose we did a little bit of geeking, but we are going to do some.
We're going to a quick commercial break.
That's what I wanted to say. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. It really was. The dyslexia showing, and that's not dyslexia anyway. So yes, we are going to do a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
We are here today on site at one of our projects. I'm a developer and entrepreneur in real estate. And what excites me most is seeing the properties come from the ground up. In development, you have to grade the ground first, you have to pour the footers, and make sure that you're building on the solid foundation. That is very important because you want to make sure that your structure can be supported by the foundation that you're laying. That's the same thing that happens in life. You want to make sure that you're starting with a solid foundation in education. That's why we host our educational services, to make sure that you are going in the right direction to learn, to build, and so that you can grow too your real estate portfolio. All of these things and more, we provide resources at itsjessicamyers.com.
That was itsjessicamyers.com. She's a real estate investor, and she teaches other people how to get into real estate investment. She's awesome. She's probably one of the kindest, nicest people I've known. I've known her since I was 14, and she's pretty much in the best way possible, the same woman that she's always been. So even with all the success that she's currently experiencing. So hit her up, it's jessicamyers.com. And now I'm handing it back over to Julian.
All right. So we've done a little bit of introductions. We usually go into our very next part, which is geeking out. What are we geeking out about? You know, like things that are just happening these days that really get you riled and stuff. At least get your geek gears going. I know alliteration. By the way,
but I like that though.
Speaking of things, I love alliterations. I live for them, and like I remember seeing actually kind of recently, like on like a post about like how to write well and things like that. They're like avoid alliterations, and I'm like,
why?
I was like, why would you ever do that? Those are things that are like, you know what I mean? A really good alliteration, like a whole like few sentences worth of like alliteration, bitch. That's creativity right there. Like,
alliterations make the world go around.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Anyway, so I thought that was poor advice. So also, like, subscribe. We are on Facebook. Obviously, Facebook Live, you are probably watching us. Also, YouTube Live, you are also probably watching us. We also do have Instagram, WNM, and
no.
WMN Geekin Out.
No second G.
Just one G, yeah.
Just one G.
Yes.
All right, Julian, you get it.
I know, guys. I'm bad with letters. Anyway, I'm better with words, bad with letters. Don't know how that works. Anyhow, so share as well. Watch with us. Also, please comment. We want to hear what you have to say, especially about this one. You know, definitely want to get into the MK segment. Oh my God, this franchise has been around for forever, so everyone has an opinion, I'm sure. Let's get into our next little part. We're going to do a little bit of geeking out. So I'll start actually with Ricky. We were just talking about Cruella. Now, my question is, it is already on HBO Max?
No, that's not what it is. Chris wants to talk about Cruella. That's why because that's probably what he's geeking out about. So what do you?
Well, no, I mean, no, we can all talk about it. I was just saying, don't talk about it yet because we ain't geeking out yet.
Right, Rakia, what are you geeking out about, man?
Okay, so I'm intrigued. I want to see Cruella, but you know, Disney has done their premieres for certain movies, not all of them, but for certain movies where you had to pay for early access. So I'm gonna have to wait till after payday to do that.
That's what it is.
If I want to do that, I'm intrigued. I might want to watch it. So, like,
I didn't know that they did that rather. But it's funny because
so here's my take. I love Emma Stone. Mm-hmm. I love Emma Stone. I think she's like she's awkward pretty. I like people who are awkward pretty, like, you know what I mean when I say awkward pretty, like
myself. She's just like got that.
Shut up, Andre. I'm really gonna sound like I'm shading her, and I'm really not shading her. She's not got one of these like overly like enhanced bodies, but she's like fit. She's beautiful. Like she's kind of milky skin, which means some people say pasty. Like she's almost like a nerd you're like red. She's like pasty, but like
I've only read it.
You have red undertones.
Sorry, look, I'm digging a hole right here. What I'm saying is like she has a lot of like quirky things that a lot of people might find unconventional, but they work together, and then she's like really pretty, right? Mm-hmm. So I really like that about her as a star, that she's kind of like a really pretty woman, but she's very relatable because she has all those quirky qualities to her. Mm-hmm. So I really like her success in general, but I really like the fact that, you know, like they chose her for this part. However, seeing the preview, I'm like, what is this movie about?
I'm so intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
I'm thinking to myself, like, okay.
Is there magic?
Like, it's very The Devil Wears Prada, but there's two puppies. And
some magic also.
I don't think it's magic. I don't think it's because the dress moment. I think it's a fashion trend. I don't think it's magic, bro.
Maybe.
Like I said,
I don't know.
It doesn't give me magic because nothing about the
I think it's
101 Dalmatians was magical. Nothing.
No, nothing.
So now, in Once Upon a Time, the television show, Cruella de Vil did have a power.
Right.
Now she couldn't talk to them. She could make them do whatever she wanted.
That's what I meant.
So she was in that they made her like a witch, which is crazy because, and I will tell you this, actually, one thing I liked about Once Upon a Time, their adaptation of her, she was the only character in that entire series who was just evil. Every other character has this story about how they were good and something happened to them. She was just fucking evil.
Remember when that show was good?
Evil.
Remember when that show was
up until it ended? Yeah.
Up until like
it
the
ended?
last couple seasons.
Up until it was done? Up until the last episode?
I didn't watch
the show. That show got bad when it ended. The episode after the last one was when it was bad.
Wow.
I tried. It didn't keep me interested.
I don't. Yeah. Can y'all hear Dondre? Are we losing it?
Hello?
Golly.
Hello?
Because we can tell that Duria likes people right now. He's not being petty.
He's coming for it.
Okay, let me preface it with this.
Roger.
I haven't watched
had a conversation recently this week when I was like, there's certain things we're not going to do. We're not going to disagree with Duria today.
I'm down to fight.
We're not going to talk shit about Jennifer Hudson because she's going to come up. Okay. And we're not, if you have any negative things to say about Beyonce as well, we're not going to talk about that. And if you have any negative things to say about anything that I like or agree with, we're going to save that for next time.
Just the next time. Just not this episode.
No, we can do it just today, though.
This is not the one.
I'm just playing. No, I just feel like I don't find anything interesting about the movie because it seems very much like, okay, we're going to, like, there's explosions in it. And I was just like, bruh, she's trying to make a fur coat. That's her. That's her legacy. She's trying to make a fur coat out of puppies. Why is shit exploding? Like, what is going on?
Well, that's what I'm waiting to see. Is like what they make out of
something about magic.
Well, the big thing about her is that she's like crazy, right? Isn't that like her? That's her tragic flaws that she's like.
No, when rich people are crazy, you don't call them crazy. When rich people are crazy, you call them eccentric.
Right, but she's supposed to be a little much. She's PC. Okay, well, she's PC eccentric. She is in real life insane. You know what I mean? So I feel like the fact that everyone's like, "What's happening?" kind of goes with her MO, versus everyone else. All the other witches falling from grace in some way or another.
But she's not a witch.
Storyline. Well, you got me. Every other villainess, I suppose, Disney villainess falling from grace in their own way. She's more of I'm just better.
Do you think we need a Cruella de Vil backstory?
No,
I don't know if we need it, but I'm
think that if it's delivered by Emma Stone, I will watch it.
I will watch it.
I think if she delivers it, it's worth it. If she does a good job of it, you know what I mean?
Well, here's my thing. Like, we were talking. Me and some people were talking. And I was just like, the problem with all of these Disney movies that they're doing, whether it is like live action versions of this, like why I love Beyonce and like no shade to her, but why do we need a live action version of an animated movie that you're just going to animate? Why do we make a live action Lion King?
We really didn't need it because
because you literally just did a different type of animation. So my thing is,
like the emotions didn't even come through like it should have.
Right, and then you have things like people. I tried to watch Beauty and the Beast, couldn't get through it. I tried to.
I didn't like that one, but like Maleficent though. Maleficent
is different though because Maleficent isn't honestly Maleficent's a little different. The second Maleficent was hitting though. I'm not gonna lie. The second Maleficent was hitting. The first one I was like, okay, because I really wanted Maleficent to be like, I really wanted them to, I didn't want to do an anti-hero. I wanted them to just have her be like pure fucking evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they did.
I think she should have been because to be honest, Maleficent is like she's badass.
She's supposed to be the devil's wife.
I'm sorry, but Kingdom Hearts puts her as like the baddest bitch.
Yes.
Period. Right.
For a reason. Like
big boss.
She gives that energy. Imbeciles, and she claps her thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, I love her. Are you kidding?
They stuck to just the evil because they're evil, and more so in like the Descendants series.
However,
here is the movie that I do want.
But I'm really fast though. But I will say is that I really like her tragic, like how she turned quote unquote evil. I just wish that they pushed it the whole way instead of her having any redemption. Let it turn her. You get me? Let it turn her and let her be evil afterwards. Let that be.
Here's the problem because
we can all get mad at
when she started doing evil shit because this is the thing. We were gonna root from her anyway because she was like the main character, and then when she started doing evil shit. To be honest, we still would have rooted for her.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think that's what they did. It
was because they were justifying it.
Because Disney is still like Disney, so they can't have us here rooting for this
essentially she was justified. I mean,
he was justified. If she started doing
tricked her purposefully and put all the big wings. Like, hello.
I wish Disney didn't have to do it so that we could have just had that story. I think it would have been dope. Here's a origin story that I actually do want. So in the canon, like when I say canon, I mean like the little coloring books and like little stuff that you might not see on film. They have this backstory of Ursula.
That she's Triton's sister. Yes,
she's Triton's sister, and she's black.
Yes, I want to see it
like
so
Triton
bad.
and Ursula are brother and sister. He's white as hell, and she's black as fuck. And somehow she just like that's a story. Like I was like, bruh, give me that, please. Give me that. Like, I will take that because like we don't know that story. It's so like we were not expecting it, and it's so like especially how they're doing what's this thing?
Little Mermaid?
Which is I was frustrated because I was no shade to Melissa McCarthy. I was kind of mad that they cast a white woman as Ursula in the live action movie.
They really just should have just pulled Queen Latifah back into the fold.
She actually did really well.
She did.
She did really well on the live action thing. I'm surprised that they cast no shade to Melissa McCarthy because I think she did well. But Queen Latifah could have sang it. I don't know what Melissa McCarthy's going to do. Queen Latifah could have sang it. It would have been great to have these characters who are freaking sea creatures be like nondescript racially instead of just having Ariel be black. I really thought they should have got like Norm Lewis.
Yes.
He plays Triton on Broadway. If you don't know who Norm Lewis is, Norm Lewis, in my opinion, is like the quintessential baritone singer of anything and everything ever.
Like an Ursula.
What was his character on Scandal? What was his character?
He was just this smooth senator, black senator who came in and
but
laid
like
pipe.
But we all joked and called him like Puddin' Pop, like he was Bill Cosby because he was just. But like I didn't care for him in that show.
I cared for him as an actor, but the character, I didn't like the character.
The character, no. But I forgot what his name was. But like
Senator Smooth.
Y'all know if y'all watch Scandal, you remember Olivia's ex-boyfriend who was senator, whatever. But no, like listening to him on the Broadway soundtrack for Little Mermaid.
Oh, that voice, man!
Oh my God.
It's like if you've never heard Norm Lewis, and it's not hard to Norm Lewis.
Yes.
Anything he sings, it is like, and I'm not even kidding you. You're gonna think I'm. It's like every note, not like some people like they say they have a few good notes. Every note that comes out of that band's mouth feels like an orgasm.
Wasn't he like the first black Phantom of the Opera?
I don't know. I wouldn't be.
He may have been.
I want to say actually.
I wouldn't be surprised you say that. I'm
like, he was it's the only one that I know of.
Hey guys, if y'all watching us right now, please share this. Head over to YouTube, specifically YouTube. Yeah. Subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell, and you can also hit the notification bell if you go to Geekin Out or the Wonelli Media page on Facebook and hit that notification bell. That's just gonna let you know that when we're on live, that you'll get a notification right away.
Honestly, as we say that though, I would totally, because we were the last episode we were talking about musicals. When I was talking about when we had mentioned Phantom of the Opera, I would kill to hear like Nicole and him do the duet.
Nicole Scherzinger?
Yeah, because her duet, like her part at least in Phantom, like she did her version of Phantom of the Opera. Her part in the duet, her slays. I mean, she slayed whoever she was there with. He did not quite hold a candle as much as she did.
Oh,
it's unfortunate. I'm sure he was a great singer, but Nicole,
it was like five people.
Wait. Yeah. What about Nicole Scherzinger?
Okay, so she does Phantom of the Opera, the theme, I guess. I'm not sure what the song is actually
called. She sings the Phantom of the Opera, like the song. He's there.
I'm kind of not feeling her right now.
Ooh.
Oh, well, if you listen to that, then I don't know.
No, it's not because of her talent. I actually have always been a huge fan of hers because I was it's me and my brother, one of our few leftover inside jokes because we don't always mesh well. We used to watch this show, like it was so funny because the preview for the show there was this like woman who used to say, I'm gonna be a superstar, and they would like repeat superstar, right,
making the best
pop stars. Yeah, And we used to watch Pop Star, and the first season of it, Nicole Scherzinger was on there, and I fell in love with Nicole Scherzinger. Look. So Eden's Crush was my shit, and then that didn't work out. And then when she came back to do like Pussycat Dolls, I was just happy that she was like, yeah, you got your flowers, you made it. Yeah. So now I didn't know that she was a hater though.
Oh, because you like the other girl that actually sings.
I do. My favorite part of the Pussycat Dolls, other than Nicole, maybe even more than Nicole,
Melody
was Melody Thornton. Melody Thornton is a singing ass, bruh, like just. And so I found out recently that like she was very much against Melody being in the group because y'all know they got back together recently, and the only reason Nicole came back, my personal interpretation, was because Melody wasn't there. Every person came back except Melody. And I'm like, bro, like Melody was, I'm sorry, Nicole, you're a great singer, but you couldn't do what Melody did. Like, and what Melody did was she put the sprinkles on some of them songs, like the end of Buttons, when she's just like riffing, like Nicole, if you could do that, they would have had you do it. Right. But you didn't, and you can't like, so I don't like haters, bro. Like haters are so exhausting. I can't.
Yeah. I guess yes and no. My only thing is that it, at least if you're, I still am there with you. But she's probably like looking out for her career, you know, especially Nicole, who's been kind of more, Melody, to be honest, has probably been more sidelined than Nicole has been in her career. But Nicole has like, you know, she has come to the spot, to the front lines time and time again, but she always gets sidelined shortly afterwards. So it's like I can understand how like for her career she's like, I can't have anyone else upstage me at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many more times is this gonna happen, kind of a thing. But that doesn't make it okay. So
so another thing that I'm geeking out about right now is
the second thing that you're geeking out about.
Yes, that second thing.
Number 2.
All right. I'm geeking out about Degrassi right now. Like
again?
Is it bad?
Right. When did you stop?
Is it back again?
No, it's not. It's not.
It's been done, but she's still going.
Oh no, it's done. Yeah, like so. I've been listening to like this podcast called Degrassi, the next podcast, for research. Because another mutual friend of ours we're thinking about doing like an audio podcast on certain topics on Degrassi. So like I'm excited to like get back into those episodes and like. Yeah. Watching them and taking notes and just kind of like and looking at it through a perspective of someone in their 30s as opposed to someone that was literally growing up with the next generation. Just, you know, and hindsight and all that stuff. So I'm excited about that. Like I love Degrassi. I love a good Canadian drama. I love a good Canadian teen drama.
Teen drama, yes.
Teen drama. Yeah, and look, the fact that like
a whole episode,
right? But like it's so different than the American teen dramas because number one, like the Degrassi characters and the actors are close in age. They're not like 20-something-year-olds playing 15 and 16-year-olds, so it's not like creepy and it's still like an age appropriate like thought process on like how they deal with emotions and puberty and changes and finding like sexuality and with it not being like completely raunchy and unnecessary. And you know, we like the raunch too, but like clearly like these are actual child actors. We don't need them to actually do that to get the gist of what the problem is. So like I'm excited about kind of diving back into that and you know, enjoying the show again. So that's what I'm geeking out about. And that's it on my end.
Well, that's exciting though.
Yeah, good.
Bringing back some nostalgia. All right, so I'm done with the video. I'm gonna actually go on to. I was gonna go on to Dantre actually.
I heard.
And he was like, "I'm ready." Okay.
I guess I'm.
No,
ready.
I thought I'd go to.
Mine is not interesting this week, but go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna do Dandre and maybe I'll do Jerry after then. So Jerry, I'll do you after.
No, do what you do.
Oh, wait, what? Dandre, go ahead. What are you geeking out about? We would love to know. Let us know. I can't hear you though.
There's a lot of geeking. So much geeking.
Okay, all right. We'll take it. Awesome.
Okay, so first things first, like I have lots of things. The Bad Batch series coming soon. I am so amped and ready.
It's already out, isn't it?
Oh, is it out?
I'm pretty sure it's already out.
I'm doing that tonight.
It came out like last week or something like that. I haven't gotten around to seeing it. However, I did see that it did come out, and that's why I'm like, oh, bitch, I need to sit down.
Oh, yes. Okay. Lord.
Here for it.
I saw a posting with like a date on it, so I thought it wasn't out yet. My bad.
Oh, wait, I thought it was.
No, I might be completely wrong. I might be.
I could swear. Okay, well, anyhow, I too am there with you. Yes.
But as next, I'm a big fighting gamer, which is why I'm here on this Mortal Kombat stream, and I have a lovely game coming out next week called Guilty Gear Strive for the PS5 and Xbox One Series X thing. Oh, but that's gonna be awesome. Currently watching Jupiter's Ascending, Jupiter's Legacy.
Yes,
I haven't heard about that. Is that any good? So okay,
Jupiter's Ascending is.
I feel like it's like Boys, right? It's on Hulu, right, or something, or Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Like Netflix version of like Boys. You know what I mean? I feel like everyone's kind of like doing their, they see something that like is successful on one of the streaming networks, and they're like, how can we make this?
I talked about it last time. It was when I was speaking about it last time.
That's right. That's right. You were, but I wasn't sure what that was.
It's giving like a really gritty superhero feel, but like I'm not so much in love with the superhero part, but actually all the story aside from it.
Exactly.
All the nitty gritty that comes around it.
Yeah.
It's very, and that's why I was saying it gives me, it's very Watchmen feel, and that's what I really like about it, is with the plot line of Watchmen. Like fuck everything else that happened in Watchmen. Honestly, the plot line was that there could have been no action and it'd have been alright,
Right. Invincible was confirmed for season 2 and 3.
Ooh.
2
and 3.
Now I just need to see the animation get better, and then it's perfect.
Look, have y'all seen that meme that shows like what does it say? It's like the what is it? It's like the list of like how the budget was spent, and it's like voice acting.
Oh yeah,
it's like 90%, and the animation was like 10%.
It's giving me like the Tick from Fox Kids on a Saturday morning.
But you know what's interesting? Maybe that's the like maybe that's what they're going for. You know what I mean? Maybe they're going for like rustic. I'm gonna say rustic because that makes it sound like
vintage.
Right.
Vintage.
Rustic makes it sound like
it sound like weathered, like maybe a little old.
It's got a little pickled feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
they use one of those old Apple computers with the colored like screen.
What kind of budget do we have? We have $600. What can we get? Well, we have one of these old Apple remember the big clunky ones? The big clunky ones that they used to have, like the Apple computer, the old Apple computer.
We're not gonna call it a Mac. It's
where it had like the disc that came in the big clunky
it still had a little rainbow apple on it.
The cartridge that you had to like put in there. I was like,
oh my god, I haven't used that in so long.
Look, we're dating ourselves here. We're dating ourselves.
We are dating.
I haven't used that in so long.
Whatever. Those computers were like the first ones that I've ever gotten like acquainted with. I used to type like a crazy on that shit because it's funny because a lot of people always like. I got competitive about it, right? So like when I was younger, I was like one of those really fast typers. Now it's like not as much, but if you hear me, it's like nothing but the whole way. The Macintosh, yes, the Macintosh too. Oh my god, throwbacks. Okay, anyway, sorry. Dondre, anything else you said you had a few, so anything else? I'll take it.
The Eternals teaser trailer was.
Is it? Wait.
There's another one.
I'm staring at this right now, but I wasn't sure if it's the whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Okay, I have problems already.
Girl.
Ooh, I do. Okay, here's my problems. Why y'all all look like y'all went to Loki's bargain bin?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, wow.
Well, because the Eternals are basically gods, so it's like, excuse me?
Right, like y'all look like y'all shopping at Loki's.
Okay, so no. They do look like they came out of the Salvation Army or Old Navy. I understand.
Right, they definitely look like
they went cheap.
They went to like everything Loki threw out. They said, "Oh, girl, this is mine."
I see the one man in like the plaid shirt and the khakis, and I'm just like.
I'm struggling because I feel like I'm looking at it and I'm just like, okay, especially Salma Hayek's character. I'm like, bro, like you look heavy.
Wow.
Like once again, even though they put her in the back, the best looking one on that I'm looking at right now is Angelina Jolie. Like, please get old, Angelina Jolie. Please get ugly. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of you.
Time for that.
I'm tired of you being fine. I'm tired of you. Like, even when they put you in gray shit, like they try to ugly your ass up, and you still just can't just go with the flow.
She drinks way too much virgin blood to ever be ugly.
Okay, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can we get some prosthetics on her, please?
It's something. And
like they put her behind like 5 people, and still my eye goes like directly to her. I'm like, oh, and that's Angelina Jolie. But but she still, even though she looked like she often was also shopping in the low keys thrift and save, he seems like, you know how some people go to thrift stores and they don't know how to shop there, but some people know how to like shop at a thrift store. Yeah. She know how, like her character was like, all right.
Yeah,
real frugal here and look cute at the same time.
Yeah, she's the one where they were like, okay, this is the only gown we can find. She's getting that one. Everyone else gets everything else in between, but this bitch gets the only fucking sparkly gown we can find in this bitch.
Right.
Not that one.
Everybody else is giving me very much Party City. He's giving me very much Party Kingdom. And I just feel like, but that's the only, like, just looking, I haven't seen the preview yet, but just looking at this picture of the preview, and they're on a beach.
It's getting like, right? The storyline is what I'm assuming is like they are like hiding in society right now. Like I don't think that's modern day, but I think it's maybe like a time when they turned away from like humanity. Maybe.
I just think this is the problem I'm having. Right, Marvel has done so many superheroes, right? But now they're bombarding us with all of these new superheroes, which is kind of going to bleed into what I'm going to talk about. And I think they need to chill.
In this phase, yes, because I mean the way we were introduced to all the ones in phase 1, 2, 3 was like very spaced out. It was like we ran into Black Widow one day in the middle of Iron Man, and
we didn't know we were getting Black Widow until the end of that movie.
Like, excuse me,
right? And I think right now it's like, hey guys, this hero's coming, look. And so it's kind of like we're losing that, like that what's
excitement,
the mystery. There's no surprise for us anymore. Right. It's like, okay, so with this Eternal thing, there's literally like 9 people right here. 9. And they're immortal. So I'm kind of like not interested. Why? Because I think the same thing that happened to them with Captain Marvel is going to happen, because like Captain Marvel, Brie Larson went on some interview thing and said that she wants to be the leader of the Avengers moving forward. And I said, boo, no, you can't. You can't. No. This is why. First of all, like, you came in with your one movie. It's not your fault, Brie Larson. No. It's the writer's fault, because the reason people like the Scarlet Witch more than they like you is because we haven't even touched the pinnacle of her power yet, and we've had like 5 movies with her.
Right.
We saw how powerful you were by the end of like 50 minutes.
Right. I mean, so that's why you got like the beginning of Endgame and the end of Endgame.
You came really fast. No, like you can't, like they made your character come so fast that like now we're like, there's nothing else we want to see. Monica,
you said that very many times. Each time
she came. She busted. She busted.
Wow. That's what the disclaimer's for in the show. That's what the disclaimer's for.
You look at Monica Rambeau, right? We like anybody who looks at the comics knows how powerful Monica Rambeau is gonna be. But in WandaVision, we didn't really see shit.
No, we just saw her catch bullets.
We saw that she can't get shot. We saw a glimpse. Right. With WandaVision, like when we first met Scarlet Witch, she could manipulate people's minds and move shit around. Mm-hmm. Now she can goddamn teleport. And then we don't know what. And if y'all seen reports from the movie, she says after she finished filming Doctor Strange, she said her character can traverse the multiverse.
Right.
But that is still that's just one more thing she can do.
Yeah. She could have kept that a secret from me, honestly. Like,
no, she couldn't have, because at the end of the day, it's like we knew that. We knew that. Like,
yeah, but like I want to see it though. Like
but it's hard to compare to Scarlet Witch. And to be honest, however, though,
it's hard to compare to Scarlet Witch.
Well, it's hard to compare anyone else to Scarlet Witch. Is my point.
No,
Scarlet Witch
you can compare. You can compare Storm to the Scarlet Witch. And I will tell you how if you want to know. And you can compare Jean Grey to the Scarlet Witch. You can compare Agatha Harkness to the Scarlet Witch.
Storm as well. Okay, but my point is
Pinky, bro.
The point here is that there are not very many people who can reach the limits that she can reach. Especially compared to the amount of characters we've been introduced to.
Also, Doctor Strange. You can compare Doctor Strange.
Hell yeah.
Well, Doctor Strange, I think we all know is going to go kind of toe to toe with her more or less. But
he's going to lose because even Agatha Harkness said that the Scarlet Witch is more powerful than the Sorceress.
Well, I mean that's the point here, though. That's kind of what I'm saying is that like her potential to be limitless is the potential to be limitless. There are not that many.
What I'm saying is that they should have treated Captain Marvel the same. What they did was they wanted to create a character who was able to defeat Thanos, which is whack to me. Why? Because every character they had like 4 characters that were able to defeat Thanos that they just killed, like Odin. That nigga he didn't even really die. He just like.
What about Hela? What about Hela?
He faded away.
Hela,
yeah.
They killed so many characters they could have, and they created this character and brought her in and made her so powerful. I thought it would have been interesting not to kill Hela and have her come in, and that would have been more interesting to me
Ragnarok
to have her come in. And Ragnarok was not necessary then.
For the
timeline.
Not really. You didn't need Ragnarok. Like everything.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I did love that movie.
What I'm saying is, Hela didn't have to die because it would have been more interesting to me to see Hela because Hela was actually hella likable. See what I did there?
Uni, I feel about.
There we go.
The Eternals will
Thanos is a child of one of them.
This is taking me. The Eternals will mostly just be to explain the beginning of superpower beings on Earth and where the X gene will come from. Look. If there's one thing us geeks are trying to do, we are trying to figure out where the fuck these mutants are going.
Okay, so then that's the thing. That was my point. So
like that's a question that needs answers. No, because we're literally all like that guy in the meme where like he has like the board in the back and all the red lines.
Exactly.
We're over here like if you
figure out what the.
But I already told y'all. I'm telling y'all the way the X-Men are going to be introduced. And I'm speaking this into existence is via Storm. The reason I say it's via Storm is not going to be Storm in Black Panther. It's going to be Storm in motherfucking Thor, Love and Thunder. Because Anna Diop, who plays Starfire.
Oh, she's so fine.
Has a cameo in Thor, God and Thunder, Love and Thunder. And I feel the fact that they put her in a cameo, I was like, bruh, she's Storm, period. Like, she's the perfect person.
So that makes me wonder about Titans, though. It really makes me wonder what's going to happen with
Titans. She can do both.
She can?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a TV show. These are look, Black woman, Anna Diop, wherever you are, I hope you got both of them checked.
She's fine. I'm just saying.
You're fine. You're beautiful, chocolate, misty, dusty, lovely.
She's the dark skin Storm that everyone's been asking for. You know what
beautiful.
Right.
She's like
dark chocolate white.
She's got the thing I like about her as Storm is she has very like African features too. Like she's got the rounded face, the plush lips. Like she's not like a westernized Black woman. She's like a very like African. She's got like a lot of African features, which Storm is supposed to be of Africa. So that makes sense to me. I really like that. And she's just like she's so powerful. Like her acting. She knows how to play those layers. She knows how to be like super strong, powerful, but vulnerable, but confused, but like hardcore. Like you could see her with like all the different hairstyles, bro. That's the perfect casting. Other than Yaya DaCosta. Granted, her features are much more Western, but still, I fuck with Yaya.
There's another one that's been like Kiki something. I forgot what her name.
Palmer?
No, not Kiki. No.
I think Palmer is more like if they were gonna make Jubilee a Black woman, but
no, like if they had made Angela Bassett Storm way back when, and then Kiki came in as a younger
one.
Yes, but there's another Kiki.
I like how we all agree
that is actually true.
Always play the younger
Angela. So you had made a point earlier about like not getting feeling the excitement when they show all these actors and who they're playing. So like, do you think that like the way that they're trying to get people into these movies. Like they're trying to get other people to want to come to these movies simply because, oh, well, we're gonna have this actor play this character, I'm gonna have this actor play this character, and instead of just like letting us see these characters unfold and happen and show up.
That's gonna happen because of the momentum. Like, I guess they're kind of expecting it to always be action-packed now. And I mean, yes, we have the TV series currently, which are a little paced, but I think they're just expecting, like, you know, like bringing Haley Steinfeld as like the new Hawkeye. Like, she has a giant fan base of preteens and early adults as well. So, like, you're just kind of, like you said, bringing fans from other people's like notoriety, because they don't seem to do a lot of like B-list actors, no C-list actors. They're all kind of A-list.
Yeah, but
I don't know because like Olsen is considered more A-list now than she was when she first started.
But she's considered more A-list now because of these movies.
Right. And like granted, she's gone the different way than her sisters, where like she actually went to acting school and she's done some more indie things and like some more reputable work.
Bitch went to Tish.
Yes.
Well, honestly, I don't know if they necessarily like really casted her to like be this front runner until she played the role, you know, and then they kind of figured out that Scarlet Witch, everyone fucking loves Scarlet Witch. Oh, that's right, we're gonna introduce this bitch that everyone fucking loves. So of course, like now they're gonna take it and run with it, because that's another thing that we're talking about here. Because we're talking about it seems like they're introducing all these characters that are just very like they're doing a lot of fan service, you know.
Yes, indeed.
You know, but like Scarlet Witch has had a slow build. She's had a slow build from the time that she was introduced until like it's been like what however many movies now since then.
Yeah,
like, she's had an extremely slow build.
And the thing about it is that's why people like Scarlet Witch. Like you didn't give her to us and shove her down our throats. You gave her to us, and then when you introduced her, she was a villain. She became a good guy, and then she was just one of the many. Then we got to know her a little bit more in Civil War, and then we got to like care for her in Infinity Wars. We saw her love for Vision, and then even still, and then we saw her be badass in Infinity War, and then we got a whole story. Now we're just like, oh, we love Scarlet Witch. Period.
Yeah,
that's how you do it because that's how they did everybody else. Like Iron Man, I hated Iron Man until the moment he snapped his fucking fingers. Mm-hmm. I only liked him after that, literally.
But now, you can't deny he had development.
No, the issue is this, and I'm going to be that person. Fuck it. People keep calling me the woke police. I'm going to be the woke police because he's a white man. So me as a black person, I'm like, of course they're going to give me, sorry, Chris. They're going to give me this white man. And they're going to make me like him because he's the straight hetero, like hero dude. This is what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? So like, I wasn't really one way or another. I was like, of course, this is what I always get. So that's what I have. That's fine. Now, the crazy thing about it was like, I don't think his character was actually that likable. The moments that I liked him the most was when Pepper was getting his ass together, to be honest. Those are the moments that I liked him the most, is when he interacted with her, because it made him seem like, even though she was his subordinate, he didn't see her as a subordinate.
She humanized him.
I think
she humanized him.
Because she filled the parts of him that he was void of at times.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, whenever I was enjoying him, it was because of like the notable personality with like his cynicism and sarcasm. Like, he was humorous, but as a person, he was real void coming through it, and he became more like, he gained his humanity as time came on.
Right. And it's crazy to me because even when he was in his mad scientist phase, I didn't like him. But it's crazy because a lot of the times they would put him in mad scientist mode with Bruce Banner. Mm-hmm. And when Bruce Banner was in mad scientist mode, I liked Bruce Banner. Mm-hmm. So it's not because he was white. It's not because he was man. It's not because he was straight. I just didn't like him.
He was a smart ass though.
He was like not a likable character to me.
He was condescending regardless of which way you put it.
Was that arrogant?
Here's the difference between him and Captain Marvel. The reason why people attach themselves to, other than the things I've already said, because despite the fact that he was flawed, he was something. What do we know about freaking Carol Danvers?
She don't know who she is. What are you talking about?
We don't know anything about her. Like, I don't have an opinion one way or another. Like, even though I'm sitting here like, I don't like Tony Stark, there's people who are like, I love Tony Stark. Most people with Captain Marvel are just like, and even with Monica Rambeau, with her, even with Kat Dennings, her character, people have an opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like for her to want to be the leader of the Avengers, it's like, bro, nobody has an opinion about your character. They're very indifferent to your character, which is the worst way for people to feel. People feel some way about Bucky. People feel some way about fucking Sam. They feel some way about Loki. Anybody can lead the Avengers.
They feel some way about
you.
Sarah, his sister.
Same sister. That's the thing. I mean, I'm sure she's just trying to also like put herself in the spotlight a little bit more.
Money. Well, the problem is that you have to read the room, bro. Like,
exactly. But the room doesn't like you, so it's like, right?
It's not that we don't like you. We just don't have an opinion about you. I would much like. We all know the Scarlet Witch is going to be. I don't care what nobody says. Scarlet Witch is going to be the next big villain.
But that's the thing. Okay, so that's the thing, kind of what we were saying before. Actually, go really fast, Andre. I know you raised your hand, so I want to know what you want to say. And then
I was just saying that I think my theory is you could tell from the pacing the longevity of the character in the whole universe now. Yes. Like, when these people are like just showing all they have to reveal immediately, they're not going to stick. Like, Carol Danvers is getting like replaced and such like that
by Monica Rambeau. We all know that, right? Have we all decided that?
Who is breaking into her power?
Realize this. Usually people
mentioned this Kamala.
Usually people get a second movie. Everybody's got a second movie. Captain Marvel's second movie has officially been named The Marvels.
Right.
And it's gonna feature Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan. And rumor has it that Blue Marvel is going to be on there. Now, if Blue Marvel shows up in the Marvels, Blue Marvel is Monica Rambeau's love interest. Then officially, Monica Rambeau is going to be the new.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Carol Danvers don't even have a love.
Exactly. They're just trying to like kind of replace her, I suppose. But like, I think that the longevity being like a precursor to whether or not they're going to be. But Maria told you Carol's not great. Sorry. This page. Ooh, sorry. Anyway, so I think it's also a direct correlation to like what kind of fan service that each of these characters are getting. So like I feel like they're doing a lot of like, are these people getting fan casted? Those are the ones that we're gonna go with, which are who's getting the most buzz on the internet, because those are the ones we're going to go with, because that means that we're going to rope in people to come and see them, kind of a thing. So it kind of all goes hand in hand. So the same thing goes with Scarlet Witch. They put this character out there. They're going to see how it's going to take. Scarlet Witch is a popular character amongst geeks of like X-Men, Avengers fans. So of course she trended well. So now here they are making her into this bigger and bigger character because she trends well. Captain Marvel never trended well. Now here we are seeing Captain Marvel also not making it that far, because to be honest, she didn't even in her time. She didn't even her storyline has never been that. So
did they set her up for failure? That's what I'm
not necessarily. I think that they were just kind of were setting up everybody and seeing who takes. You know what I mean? These people take. These are the ones we're gonna run with. Everyone else, we're gonna cut you off. we're gonna close you up and be done with you. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're just taking a lot of they're putting a lot of attention towards the research marketing in their expansion of the MCU. Okay, so anyway, because we've been doing this for a little bit, I'm going to actually go to Chris really fast. But do you have anything you're geeking out about these days?
Yeah. I got
I've got a few. I know he's like a bit quiet for a little bit, but
let me just pull out the scroll. Okay, so yes, Cruella, like we already talked about it, but like I am not only like excited about the movie, because I am excited about that, and P.S. by the way, like we snagged Thomas's brother's login, and he's got the paid subscription. So when Cruella comes out, we'll be able to watch it. So
you be able to do it, Chris?
We'll be able to watch it.
Okay. I'm going to make sure.
But what I'm also excited about, and I keep seeing these all over the internet, like because I'm obsessed with drag culture. Also, it's like all the drag queens with their interpretations of Cruella, like
Love that shit.
Manila and Gottmik, and all these drag queens like doing their like interpretation of what.
It's amazing.
Go ahead. Sorry, continue. Go ahead.
The
Sorry.
art on it has to be amazing.
Were you cutting me off? Were you saying no? Get out of here.
No. I was trying to like do some echo cancellation thing, but you go ahead. You said better.
Oh, that's probably my fault. I should have done that before. Okay, all right. So there's that. I'm super excited about not only the movie, but like all that stuff that's coming out, and I like love watching those kind of videos. I am geeking out like super hardcore about this awesome birthday present that I bought for Thomas. And
are you about to cry?
No. But it's not even for like
with your fiance and your head.
Wait, isn't it Thomas who reads Wheel of Time? Or Thomas's brother?
No, it's my brother-in-law. It's my sister's husband.
Oh, okay, just kidding. Sorry. Okay.
So Thomas is obsessed with Van Gogh. Like, has always been obsessed with Van Gogh, and so I got us tickets to the Van Gogh experience. I got us like the VIP tickets, so we could like do the whole like virtual like walk with Van Gogh experience and everything.
That's in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm. And because I'm so bad at keeping secrets, like I've already told him. He would
on the internet.
You said on the whole internet, okay?
He'd probably be watching this anyway, but yeah, I already told him that because I was like, "Guess what I got you for your birthday?" And
you really can't keep it.
So excited.
I got it from my mom, by the way, for Mother's Day. So.
You did?
Yeah, I got it from my mom to take my dad, I guess. I was just like, go do something.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be so awesome.
So exciting.
You're all so precious.
Shut up. Okay, so
aren't y'all so sweet? I hate it. No, I'm just kidding.
The next thing I'm geeking out about. Okay, I know I talked about this like probably like a few months ago. I mean, it's very, very several episodes ago. This documentary that I watched about Nexium, which was this like, kind of like secret society, not really like a culty kind of a thing that Allison Mack was in, that girl from Smallville.
You were talking about this, yes.
Yes, sex slavery and all that. Okay, so they had this original documentary on HBO that I watched called The Vow. Sorry. It was great. It was really good. But now there's another documentary that's out on Stars, which if you don't have Stars, then you're gonna have to download if you want to continue the story. Sorry, but yeah, it's only I think 4 episodes long, but I mean it was really good. And
the original documentary was called
The Vow.
The Vow, and then these are called the one on Stars. It's called.
This one's called Seduced, I think, or something like that.
Vow and seduce. I vow to seduce you. Oh, yeah. This is getting deep.
It's like seduced : something, whatever. Okay. The story of blah blah blah. But it was good. It was good. I'll just say that, and I really enjoyed it. Binged it in like a day. I mean, it's only 4 episodes. I mean, they're all like an hour.
Okay, so totally random but adjacent story tangent. There's someone that I had worked with like ages ago. I had seen her kind of more recently. Not more recently, a while ago. But like, there was a time period in between, and then I had seen her again, and she had been like an advocate for like sex trafficking. Like trying to bring awareness to it and the whole nine. And it's a little crazy because she's like, I would get emails from like random people talking about you shouldn't be snooping where you are, like things like that, the threats essentially. And I was just like, ooh, this is deep, bro. That's deep.
That is deep.
That is kind of crazy. So by the way, it's a pretty serious subject, which is I guess the point here. So here we are watching documentaries, but it's actually pretty serious because anyone who actually like takes the at least knowing someone who's taken the effort to try and do something about it, they've met a resistance, which is kind of crazy. So just putting that out there with it.
All right, and then the last thing that I'll talk about, one last thing, and this is it's like one of those like very specific obsessions, like and I say obsession because it's legitimate, like I can't stop. So there's a specific a cappella group, and I know I've talked about them before too, because I'm like very repetitive. And they're called Voctive, and they have a number of videos or whatever. But like, okay, so since I've been starting to take voice lessons again, one of my like new obsessions is watching vocal coaches specifically react to Voctive for like the first time, because they're always literally like sitting there like,
what am I listening to? This is amazing.
and they're supposed to be like giving notes and being like, this is what they're doing to produce this sound, and this is how this sound, and they're like
the whole time,
like
like
some of them, they're like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Like, what's going on? And it's been an obsession for, I mean, a solid week. I might have watched, I mean, it's been hundreds. I can't even tell you how many hundreds of reaction videos.
I love hearing singers react to singers, like, and especially when like they're like so like into what the other singers doing. I'm like, yes, sing, and then they talk about their technique, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Or when they just can't even respond. When they're just like,
But that was like that was my favorite thing as like a music major. Just you listen to your friends singing, and you're like, yes, you better sing.
Yes, you better.
You better sing it in that French with the whatever. Just
whatever it is, you just
you just supporting. I love supporting.
That's the best
singers.
phrase that exists in human English language.
You better.
You better. It really, honestly though, it's so supportive.
Y'all look. So, because we're about to run out of time, I'm gonna do mine real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all go and do y'all Mortal Kombat thing. What I'm geeking out about is Titan season 3.
Okay.
Yes.
In season 3.
Yes.
So now I've been hearing I read this article today. I didn't read the article. I read the headline, but the headline said basically like, in the era of HBO Max DC universe, we need to get rid of the Arrow universe. Now, Carlos Valdez has left The Flash. That's another sign that we need to get rid of that shit. Yeah, he's leaving The Flash after this season. I mean, I feel like with HBO Max, Titan season 3 is coming out this August.
Like, what there is?
Yes, I've been waiting for it. No, because
Blackfire is supposed to be a big villain. Vincent Carthusier, I'm saying his name wrong, from Angel and from Mad Men is going to be playing the Scarecrow. Also, you have like another Robin is showing up, a black one apparently, and you have you have all that stuff. They're actually gonna put Starfire in her purple glory outfit, her golden purple outfit, and Blackfire is gonna be in like a black and purple and silver one, bro.
Yes.
HBO Max said, "Here's some money, run."
Right.
And the dude who plays Hawk said that this is the first season that it's been focused. Like they're focusing on certain characters. It's gonna be like everything is like you know how some like when you have something good, it's like clay, and then you get some people's hands on it who really know how to mold that shit. That's what it sounds like this is about to be. I'm excited. I love Anna Diop. Like only thing I'm hoping they put it into the story that her fire turns green somehow, because that's the only thing that bothers me about that character is that her fire's not green. But like, bro, like I love Black Starfire. I love Blackfire, even though I hate her black ass. Like, not because she's black, just because she's the villain.
Yeah.
That's the difference between like, because when Titans first started, it like DC had their own like streaming channel.
I've heard about that.
And so look, I'm assuming like the money just wasn't there, but when you get on HBO,
I think what it was that like they had money, because let me be honest. Some of them special, they had to have money. They had some money, but I think what it was because DC.
But I think what it was money. They don't.
I think they didn't know people would watch it. Like, and I think now they know people will watch it, and now it's just like, all right, let's give it a bigger audience. Putting it on HBO Max, and especially because they took a risk making Starfire black. Let's be clear.
That's true.
You made Starfire black, even though she's usually like an orange alien, and that was a risk. And I thank you for taking that risk, because. And I'm gonna say this too, as a black person who is in the entertainment industry, who's very much pushing for representation for more black people. I'm also gonna say this. In addition to that, I'm not saying in lieu of or in replacement of, in addition to, y'all need to start making representation for Latin American people, Latinx people, for indigenous people, for Pacific Islanders, for Asian people, East Asian, Mesa people. Like, y'all need to make sure that like more than just white and black people are being represented, because black people are underrepresented compared to white people, but Asian, Latinx, like they're way more underrepresented than both black and
there's like a whole world of other people out there, like literally.
So it's, and that's why I like Beast Boy is low key. He's not low key. Beast Boy, I'm pretty sure is Asian, and the woman who plays Slade's daughter is Asian. And I'm just saying, like, it's about time, because you have a show like that where people don't like. It doesn't really, and then she's Asian, but then Slade he's Latinx. Like, we just like good stories, and we just like good acting. Like, whoever shows up and knocks that shit out of the park in the audition, bro, put him in the role.
But also, like, but also when you're having all these characters, you have the material for these characters of color. Go ahead and use those characters of color. Like, quit beating around the bush. Like, you have all these characters. You have Vixen. You have all these different characters of different nationalities.
Black Canary.
Like, bring them in. Bring them in.
Yes,
like,
let's see them.
We don't have to have a black Superman. We don't.
Even though I know y'all want to get Michael B. Jordan because he's fine, but like, bro, like Michael B. Jordan can be Blue Marvel. No, he can't be Blue Marvel.
No.
But Michael B. Jordan can be other things. Like we don't need black versions of white characters when you have black characters who are just not being talked about.
Exactly.
Like I'm gonna say this, and I might get flack for it. Superman's goddamn white, and I'm a huge Superman fan.
Superman's an alien. I mean, we got plenty of renditions.
He's an alien with motherfucking with
we got plenty of renditions of Superman.
He's not a melanated alien, even though he gets power from the sun. He's not a melanated alien.
Yes.
Like, I love Superman being a non. Like, as a Superman fan, I liked him to be very much Kal-El, pasty and buff.
Pasty, white, and perfect. That's what
he
is. But also we had multiple. Much like Batman, we have multiple renditions of Superman. We have multiple renditions of Batman.
That's the problem. Like, I have a problem with that. Like, you give us multiple renditions of these characters. Like, okay, Superman has like a Supergirl, Superwoman, a black Superman, all these things. Like, bro, like, okay, I'm not a woman, so I can't say that. But as a black person, I'm much more into like a Blade than I am into a black Superman.
Yeah.
Because Blade is just black, not because it's like a part of the story. Like, he's just black. Like, it's inconsequential. It's not because we need this character to be black in order to push the story forward. No, it's just he just so happens to be black.
Thank you. But that's exactly what we're saying, Jermaine, is that we want to push characters that already are black, that maybe are on the same caliber as Superman, or maybe not even, but still could use that, that are...
You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Are their own...
Right.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
That's why people like Monica Rambeau. Like, she's black.
And Luke Cage.
Yes. Right. Well, Luke, yeah.
But he's there. Like, he's there.
He's there.
Only issue I have with Luke Cage is that they definitely made him like, during the era of black people getting shot by the cops, like, let's make a superhero who can't be shot and is black. But I still like, look, he is black. Like, I'm just saying, like, I much rather, and I also like how they introduced him. It's like, he's just this black guy who's in love with Jessica Jones. Like, I'm just like, these characters can be these, and also this thing. Stop making Asian characters who know how to do kung fu.
Stop making Asian characters what?
Who know how to do kung fu, and that's what their thing is.
Well, that's because they usually get Asian characters who are a little more whitewashed.
No, I'm just saying, like, it seems like whenever we want to introduce an Asian character,
we can talk about it now.
I'm just saying, whenever we want to do it in an Asian character and give them a huge part, they must do kung fu. Because you have like what they did to Jubilee. They put Jubilee in an X movie and didn't once show her powers.
No,
not at all.
Yeah, what was that about?
And I'm just like, but you put like, you do Iron Fist and then she's got kung fu. You do this new movie, Shang-Chi, kung fu. It's just like, bro, like, That's insult. I'm not Asian, so I can't say, but I would assume it's just like, so the only time you want to bring an Asian character on camera is when you need a character who does kung fu.
Yeah, let's talk about G.I. Joe, the new one, the Cobra one that's not the Cobra, the new one that's coming out with is centered around. Yes, that's the one. Of course, the ninjas, right? And who, of course, are Asian. And it's like, oh, but they're the only Asians on the squad.
And the thing about it is, like, if you had like characters like Colin Wing and Shang-Chi, and they weren't the only ones, it wouldn't be a problem. You see what I'm saying? The fact of it is you have these characters come on. They're the only Asian characters we have, and their main goal is to teach kung fu or to do kung fu, which is like saying that that's their only purpose. Now, if we had like 50 Asian characters and 4 of them were like the kung fu artists, then it wouldn't be a problem. But what you're doing is you're relegating them only to this one section.
Because you're still fulfilling a stereotype at this point.
Exactly.
And you think it's like, and then you expect Asian people to look at Shang-Chi and be like, y'all should be happy you're getting a movie. But it's like, yeah, but it's so, even that new TV show on CW, Kung Fu, it's literally called Kung Fu.
Yeah.
It's like, and you expect people like, here's your show, your Asian show. It's just like, but it's
the CW.
Isn't this all y'all care about?
Right.
Oh,
so those are my things. I just say, like, those are the 2 things I wish that y'all would start doing is like broadcast representation across races and stop giving people stereotypes and expecting them to be like happy just because they have something. Of course they're going to be happy because they have something, but it's like, but you also have to realize it's kind of like,
you're giving the bare minimum, and you're like, oh yeah, of course you're happy. It's like, yeah, but I would have been happy literally if you gave me anything. It could have been anything, but that doesn't mean that that's what I deserve.
And that's what I'm geeking out about this week.
So we should probably.
So we are going to do. Okay, I'm going to say actually one quick thing. I'm going to keep my geeking out super fast. But it's super important because they have finished wrapping the filming for season 1 of Wheel of Time, and they have already renewed for season 2 at the end of wrapping of season 1 because they clearly it was just that fucking good. So I am motherfucking excited. Oh, Wheel of Time is not getting not only 1 but 2 motherfucking seasons. All right, so. I'll just leave it at that, I guess. There's a lunar eclipse on Wednesday. Full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, I think it is supposed to be. That is important for certain people, I guess, not everybody. Anyway, and I think there is maybe 2 more things. Sorry, what was it?
Is it like Mercury and Gatorade right now or something like that?
No, it's Jupiter. Jupiter is in retrograde. Get it right. So, they are doing this queer animated series called Pretty, and it's supposed to be like Black queer film that they're doing. So that is actually looks kind of exciting because it's supposed to be less about like, as we talk about only doing movies about, let's say, like tropey things like Black trauma and things like that. They're supposed to be moving away from that in this, which is exciting. So I'm kind of excited to see that. Yes, I hope they do Wheel of Time some justice because honestly, the magic system in that is really intense. So as long as they get that part right, I'm pretty sure all the fans will be all right. And then the last thing was 2 more things. Sorry, 2 more things, really fast. Missy Elliott.
Damn, Julian.
I got nothing.
It's not nothing.
I know.
It's not
okay,
20.
So, all right, Missy Elliott. I'm so addicted. Like turned like 20 years. 2 days ago, I think it was. 2-3 days ago, I think it was. I love her. Okay, that was like 2000s Missy Elliott. 2001, I think it was when that came out. I'm sorry, but that's big. That bitch, she killed the game. She changed the music industry
so innovative.
In that moment. I'm sorry, she is everything. So I have to give her some props for that. But we are going to take one more quick break, and then we're gonna get into it. All right, guys. So I'm done for now. We'll catch you in a hot minute.
No, listen.
I'm looking at this like private chat. I'm like, what the hell? Sorry, I was real confused.
Seen Mortal Kombat. I am going to excuse myself from the remainder of the show because I don't want it spoiled for me. I miss you guys. I will see y'all in 2 Mondays.
All right, bye, Julie.
Who's hosting in 2 Mondays?
Oh no.
Well,
It's you, boo.
Probably you.
In 2 Mondays, we're gonna talk about I don't know. I want to do a whole episode where I bitch about the Cynthia Erivo versus Jennifer Hudson versions of the Aretha Franklin movie, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna be petty. So we could call it more of a review. It's not a good look for me because I would be mean.
We could do things that we're petty about episode.
Petty episode. We're gonna do an episode. Yeah, we're gonna do an episode where I'm gonna leave the discussion. But so what'll happen is I will see y'all in 2 weeks, and I don't want to get it ruined for me, but remember this, anybody watching, I would have loved this movie.
He would have.
My type of movie. I would have loved it. Anything these motherfuckers say is a lie. They're lying.
He absolutely.
They're
No, because my opinion has slightly changed when I was actually able to focus and watch it slightly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just need somebody to stand in the position of Duryea for this. I will.
No, I can't do all that. That's too much.
We're gonna give you a little bit. We're gonna give you a little bit of props.
Okay.
But that's
not me. Give the movie props. I'll talk to y'all later. All right.
Get out of here. Bye, girl. Bye.
Okay, so now we're getting into the meat of it. So MK21. I'm a vegetarian. Not really, but I try. Anyway,
casserole's done.
Anyway, so we're gonna get into Mortal Kombat 2021. It is their newest installment. Honestly, there haven't been as many Mortal Kombats as I feel there have been as far as the video game franchise goes,
right?
Which is surprising because maybe I'm just thinking Tekken, I guess, because Tekken has like 18 versions of it. So I'm thinking like Tekken and Mortal Kombat, they were like big at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, oh, Mortal Kombat's got all these like versions and stuff. No, it doesn't. So honestly, the storyline is a little more robust than you would think, is all I'm kind of saying. It's a little more robust than you would think, but this movie, I'm not so sure does it all that justice. So we are going to get into that. So I think the last time we were here, we had kind of mentioned it, and I know Ricky and Chris had already seen it, and they were all very, well, it was a movie that exists. So I am somewhat of an agreement, but I feel like it has changed a little bit. It's not as severe as it seems at first. Okay,
Concur.
Okay, so quick initial thoughts for this. It is very much an action movie.
Yes.
Movie. Action movie and nothing else but, really. It is nothing but a fan service action movie that I think fans loved. And then if you were like there for like any of the plot that has come out of the newer installments of it, that's where you got lost. You know, that it didn't pay any respect to that part of it. So, okay. 6 versions for each release. Jesus, Street Fighter. Yeah, Street Fighter has a lot.
It didn't make me want to go look up stuff on the Wikipedia. I can tell you that much.
It didn't do any of that for me. I didn't like. My biggest thing was this. It was too rushed. If you are going to have a sequel, which they aren't really sure they're going to do, I guess, which is why
you could tell that that's what the.
I think it was confirmed.
That's the vibe. Wait, is it confirmed they're having one or no?
I think so.
Okay, so the thing was at the initial creation of the movie, they didn't know if they were going to have a sequel or not. So it was supposed to be more of a standalone thing, and then obviously it can be continued if necessary. But because of that, I thought they were trying to stuff too much into it. And now knowing that there's probably going to be a confirmed sequel, and just the way that it's set up to possibly have a sequel, so they left a few open-ended things without actually talking about the fact that they're open-ended. Those things can obviously be developed more. So it's like, I think that they did too much in too short of a time, especially if you knew that you were going to be able to open this up later, or going to give the option of opening it up later. You shouldn't have put so much so quick and so condensed. My biggest thing was just the storyline of how Mortal Kombat works was just so like it's 20 minutes. We're gonna give you 15 minutes of Sonya talking about like what she found because she went a little crazy, and that's it. and then the rest is just fucking fighting. So I'm just like, I mean, all that stuff was nice. The special effects were great, but what the fuck am I watching? What is actually
I feel very similarly like that.
I feel like I'm just watching the video game. Like I'm just like picking an opponent and then just fighting the opponent, and that's it. You know what I mean?
But then they, you know, they had some of these characters, and they try to tell some backstory, and some of it made sense, and some of it was new, and that was fine. Whatever, you know, like a new little backstory for Scorpion, a new little backstory for Sub-Zero, and all that stuff. But what I really did enjoy, and I wish that they had like kind of expanded on a little bit more and like kind of focused in on more, was their whole like mythology about the arcana, like, you know, like you unlock this power within inside you, and then like Sonya Blade like killed Kano, and all of a sudden she had an arc, but then they had like no explanation of how she just like all of a sudden like had, it was like you had this
what
concept
it for her, you
right
know? Like everyone else had to go through this training, and she got
right.
She's like, oh, I'm here and I can do it.
And not necessarily like a training. Like a lot of them had to be, it had to be like a trigger. Like what was?
They had to figure out.
Yeah, that's a better word. Because Jack's just in bed, growing metal arms.
Yeah, no, his trigger was is
finding Sonya, like almost
that I need to help, you know, my friends.
Right. How am I gonna lift this thing off?
I need the power to protect my friends. Boom, there we have it. You know, it's like things like that.
Does anybody else like feel like some type of way about like Jax is like a little like mini metal arms for the longest time?
They weren't bulky enough.
No, I'm not talking about like in the beginning, like when he's like when they first
put them on. Yeah,
right. Like
they were kind of scraggly. I think I think it helps with the plot point of awakening the arcana, and like how the way that the arcana is supposed to manifest. So like a lot of those things. Okay, here's the thing. A lot of these pieces fit together the way they're more or less supposed to in the lore that they've presented us.
Yes, I get that. I think it's
but not in the way that we're like used to, because we're used to the MK lore that has like, you know, 5. It's got 2 other movies. It's got 5 installments of 10 different video games, some shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like was Joy Relation or Recession of Coming True? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Jermaine, for that. However, did they show that in the movie at all?
Was it conveyed as much?
Was there not 5 seconds of it even? No.
I mean, to his point though, like you can tell that she felt some type of way about the fact that like she
finally got the mark.
She wasn't the chosen one, and then you have someone like Kano, and like but like regardless of it, it wasn't like some like you're the chosen one. Or you were birthed with this, which you only had like one like, character from the Earth realm that had that, but like you have Kano, who's complete dipshit and comedic relief and douchebag, and he's getting this where she's not only like she wants this, but she's like doing the research to find out like why are these things happening. It's just.
Okay, so then here's the other thing. So I guess that was I guess key to. Okay, so that's my point with this movie. There's a lot of nice things, and like the plot still wasn't there though. So they did some things that were like cool. So for example, her showdown arena was her apartment in the room with all of her shit. You know, following this whole thing and so that you're right, Ricky. You know, like I get how like her joy of winning that would be the trigger, because it's like she's dedicated her life to this cause, and essentially before any of these other motherfuckers that they recruited from Earth, you know. So like she's the most deserving, and the whole time it's been that she's not marked, so she's not deserving, quote unquote. Right. So like I get that, but and then now agreeing with Chris, it just didn't come across though. They did not show that well enough.
Jermaine, come back on the show. But like, I like his question here. Like, you like how Raiden knew where all the chosen ones were, but didn't think to train any of them until a week before the tournament.
Okay, but Raiden's always fucking up. Raiden's been the biggest fuck up of the MK series, and Raiden is the biggest fuck up of the entire Mortal Kombat series. They have like 12. They reset time like 3 times because they're like, Raiden, you fucking up. Raiden himself like reset time like at least once in the whole storyline where it's like, because he's like, I fucked up, I gotta do this again because I'm a motherfucking fuck up. And
this must have been one of them times where he reset it as a young person because he was young. I felt like this Raiden was a young man.
Okay. All right, so I guess the actors aren't so bad, right? I guess. I mean,
actors weren't bad. I mean,
Sub-Zero is a yes in my book.
First of all, they casted him.
They what?
Casted him.
They casted
whoever the hell
they casted Sub-Zero. So like replay for that episode.
Is a yes in my book. I will have to say. And then also, I do love he who played Scorpion. I forget his name. But he's been
Hanzo
in a
character.
lot of stuff. Yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff, and I love him. He's very good. I think he's great.
I enjoyed his character too. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and their showdown.
But to be honest, this whole movie should have just been called Scorpion versus Sub-Zero.
It should have. Mostly about them. And I wasn't mad about that mythology.
No,
like, I really wasn't mad about that whole story.
But my thing was like they had the whole like ninja squad and they totally broke that up. Okay, so oh god, we could talk about this for like a really long time because like bitch, I haven't gotten to Reptile yet or Melina.
No, like, Melina.
Let's not even do it.
There's a whole ninja squad that they have done no justice to. What I will say I did like about the difference between like, okay, so Scorpion had like a more samurai feel, and like he's supposed to be Japanese, obviously, so like, you know, all that stuff kind of like coincides. And then versus Sub-Zero, he's technically supposed to be Chinese. Because if you see him in the beginning, he speaks to him in Chinese, and then he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. And then he starts speaking like
and the wife is like, I don't know, but you're scary as fuck.
I don't know, but you scaring me. Exactly. Then he starts speaking in Japanese because he technically does know both languages. And then it's like, oh, okay, now I see. But it's like, you know, he's more the Chinese ninja versus the Japanese ninja, but the Japanese ninja being Scorpion
Samurai.
Has a little bit. I feel he feels to me more samurai than the ninja, if anything. Although I feel like ninja is a part of both cultures, and I think that samurai is technically only Japanese.
Yeah, so the Shiryu is definitely more of an assassin ninja culture, actually. The Lin Kuei is more of like a code of rights and the whole like
samurai.
They're like more samurais, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see now. I see how that dichotomy kind of fits. However, in the original MK universe, I suppose they're all supposed to be kind of ninjas.
Yeah, definitely.
So like now you're introducing a whole different part. So I mean, it's that I thought was kind of cool though because they still were able to put different Far East cultures in there, I guess. But it did take away from the fact that they're all supposed to be like a samurai squad of some sort. Like Reptile didn't give me Reptile at all. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay because he was
Reptile gave me Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man.
Thank you. He's Doctor. What is his name? Crocodile. He's Crocodile from Amazing Spider-Man. And I was like, I wouldn't mind this form if you turned into the ninja form, like human ninja.
Right,
and you'd be a humanoid too.
Thank you. Give me animality. Yeah. Let this be like the animality like representation. Because that was the other thing. They did a lot of like the finishing moves. They put a lot of those in there, so that was pretty cool.
I liked that.
So did anybody just feel like it's like going back and like watching it and like being able to really like pay attention? Like, if anything, I thought it was kind of corny.
A little bit.
I mean, it was a little corny.
Especially the relationships.
I mean, yes.
All the relationships were super forced. Like they're like, let's be friends with Soina now. Why is she even here?
So when I compare things to '90s things, like '90s things, because of nostalgia, they're corny and you enjoy them from that. But like this one was like there was like Kano was clearly comedic relief.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then like the corniness was, even though you want to hear those things, you expect it at least to come out at some point. Yes.
No,
Come here.
yes,
Get
come
over here.
Get over here.
Get over here. Like, things like that, like those, as much as I want to hear those little sound effects from the video games, it's still corny. It was corny as
I feel like
in the 90s, it was cool. Now we're just like,
that's what I'm saying. In the 90s,
Yeah, I'll
it
fight.
worked with the campiness. Now I feel like
it was
they're
it was
giving-
it
but
was
you know what? That
it
came
was
from.
tiptoeing on campy. It was tiptoeing
Yeah.
on campy.
They could throw those in like the list of Easter eggs they had in it. That's probably the
They
thing
did
I
have
took
a
away from it
lot.
that I actually enjoyed. There was a lot of Easter
There was
eggs.
a lot of
Even
Easter
just like the
eggs.
poster with like the quarter circle on it. I was like, oh,
Okay, I like this shit. I like, when Jax was in the thing and they had the up down LB or whatever punch, something like that. So it's like, it's like one of the moves for
Right.
the
The fatalities.
Yeah, like or whatever. That shit was cool. I was like, okay,
Look,
I
I wanted to roll my eyes so hard at flawless victory. I wanted
that
to.
was
that was bad.
especially
That
when it
was
wasn't
really
even
like-
flawless.
That
It
was
wasn't
really
even
campy.
flawless.
It wasn't.
That-
No, it wasn't.
Right.
It was gory as hell. Oh my gosh! So like,
Okay,
so
yeah, I thought that as well. It was pretty gory, which is supposed to like stay true to this franchise, but at the same
right.
time, I was
Like I understand. And I
all
get it.
that,
Like someone who like I wasn't like a full hardcore like gamer, but like I remember playing the game as a kid and like the blood, all like the graphics.
You
Yes.
have to turn those off.
My thing
But,
is
like-
this: for killing the storyline, I don't need all that blood. That's not the trade-off I want.
But like, and then like as a 30-year-old, like 32 years old, and like my 5-year-old is like, he comes into the room while I'm trying to watch it for the show
You're
tonight,
like, "Ooh."
and he's luckily I can have a conversation with him. He'll be like, "Oh, mom, that's gross. All of that is super gross." He's sitting there watching it though.
He already knows.
He's sitting there watching it, but just like the whole like what the sawing through her head
Mhm.
and the Jack just like and like
Yeah.
guts everywhere and
Yeah,
I'm
when
just
they spilled the entrails of Prince Goro,
yeah,
I was like, oh, all this stuff is coming out. No, thank you.
and I'm like, it's
I'm
super
so into
gory, but like I understand because like I played the video game, but like golly,
I think from my point of view, I did not enjoy the film. Yes, I enjoyed the action, but like on the outside, this is probably the nicest thing I could say about this movie. It's a fighting game movie, and I'm going to enjoy it not as a film, but simply for the action it's going to bring, because it's not meant for it. There is never a good fighting game movie. There's not many good video game movies. God, I watched Dead or Alive as a guilty pleasure. For some reason, I actually enjoy it, and I won't tell people that. But like these movies are not good. They never give us the lore we need.
The very first Street Fighter, I live for that.
Oh, the very first Street Fighter with Raul Julia.
I live for that one.
Okay,
I do live
yeah.
for that one. No,
As long as it's not the Chun-Li story.
Oh, nobody knows about that one. What Chun-Li story?
Oh
They
my
had a
god,
movie
Chun-Li
like-
has her whole movie. Whoa, what's it called again? Jesus Christ. Where's my phone?
Yeah, but isn't Katie Couric? Isn't she one of? Wait, no, that was Isn't she one of like the sex trafficking celebrities that
Oh
we were
my.
talking about?
Oh,
no,
Katie
Katie Couric is
The host of the Today
She
Show.
played-
she was
Was she playing-
Today Show host.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah,
Totally different.
Or you think of Kristen
You're thinking
Krug?
about Kristen
From
Krug.
Kristen. There we go.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
No, we don't talk about that.
Don't.
Oh,
What Legend of Chun-Li?
no legends.
They have
There is no legend.
never made
There
the
is no
Legend of
legend.
Chun-Li. Okay,
What's a
The
legend?
The Legend of Chun-Li is amazing, and we have yet to see it. Okay,
And we
The
have
Legend-
yet to see it.
The Legend of Chun-Li is iconic, and it is also
Not made.
awesome, and
Not
we have never seen
We
it
haven't-
before.
we haven't
It
gotten
has
to it.
never been
We have
made, and no one has witnessed it. So, okay, we've only seen it in her iconic 1,000 kick. No, isn't that it?
My favorite thing is like when there's like sequels to things and we just don't acknowledge like they are not real.
We've never seen that
exist.
before.
Annihilation.
Okay.
Um,
But speaking of
Okay.
Chun-Li, though, speaking
Another
of
one.
Chun-Li, No, we got to go on this topic because I've been wanting to talk about this.
I've heard it once or twice and I've had enough.
No, speaking of Chun-Li, as far as Mortal Kombat is concerned, this movie in particular, the reason that I played these fighting games and the reason that I watched GBZ was for the badass bitches. I didn't play as the men. Like, I mean, I did sometimes, but like I played as the badass bitches. Like, I loved Katana, I loved Jade, loved Melina every once in a while. And
my girls.
Where were they? They had
nowhere to be found.
Here we go.
And
so
Sonya.
I think that they are leaving it open to introduce these characters later. But I'm like, but they're kind of key to the storyline. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel
Princess Katara, Queen Sindel.
Like they were
like, let me see her die. Let me see her beginning of Queen Sindel. You know what I mean? Like her. Give me the origin story now. I wouldn't mind a reiteration of the origin story, as long as it was, with today's graphics and things. I'll take it. But I wasn't even happy with the graphics. Lost over.
I just need to see one hair whip, and I need to see like a floating screen.
Well, but then they also had the fan. They had her fan in Raiden's temple, and Raiden technically he raised Katara, right? That's the daughter. That's the daughter that he saved.
Well, she was like the kind of the daughter of the emperor, but like, where was she? Where was all of it?
That's what I'm saying. I think they're going to try and introduce them, obviously, in the sequels that come after. But the fact that they wrote it as a standalone with the not so sure gonna have sequels, I didn't like it because it was just too rushed. I'm here for all the action and things, but like they explained Outland in like text or something like that. There was like one point where they threw the text on the they do one of those text scenes where like they explain what's happening or what has happened in between in the segue, and it's like how about you give me an actual scene with acting and show me how this happened.
That's the thing. Like, I think there was a bunch of one-liners thrown, and a lot of them didn't hit. And then I think when there's a blatant disregard for the actual storyline or the actual context of the whole thing, it's just like I can't appreciate it. You did like if you're gonna make a Mortal Kombat movie, you're not making it to get Kimberly, Susie, and Leanne to watch it. You want me to watch it. I grew up on this stuff, and now I'm just like,
and the action was there.
Arcana. Huh?
Like, where did this come from? This is new, but I think they did introduce this though, and like this. But that's the thing. So I feel like you have to have played the video games to understand this movie a little bit easier.
Yes,
which isn't bad, but at the same time, it's like, but people who haven't played the newer installments of the video games, they're not going to get it. No. You get me? So it's like they think you need to.
Like, I have not played. I've not played a Mortal Kombat game since like.
Thank you. As a Mortal Kombat didn't take like 10 years before like one game to the next.
Right. Like, I promise, I have not played since like 97. I had.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Well, if anybody wants to fight me, call me.
Yes.
Old school Mortal Kombat, maybe. New school, I'm not so sure because I've never played it. Exactly. So like in the new school, they've really developed the storyline a little bit more and things like that. So they've kind of lost. They didn't put that in the movie, and they were just kind of expecting people to know it. Which isn't bad, I suppose, because people who are going to watch that movie usually know the storyline. But for the few who aren't as up to date on the storyline, at least, you could have done a little more fleshing out.
I think the thing is, like, they were putting stuff in, like they were wanting a sequel, but wasn't quite sure if it was going to happen or not. Okay. So they're going to put as much as they can to for it to kind of make sense. Yet they flopped, but I also they're trying to get new people that might not have ever played the game to be interested and care, and it's like that's not that kind of thing because it's not about the story. It's about the action. It's an action film, so you're gonna want the action. The only people that really care about like plot are the folks that are actually like diehard fans of the game.
Which
and
I understand why they might have like put in Cole Young like a completely non-canon character, but like the way they made him the main focus was very uninteresting.
But however, I had heard a speculation that he is going to be like more of a name change. You know, like we see him as Cole now, but later on he kind of turns into someone else.
See, I was less interested about him, and I want to know what happened to his dang ancestor, the baby. Like, I honestly, to be quite honest with you, like,
but that baby is Katara, I'm pretty sure. But that's the thing. They're not going to introduce her until later, I think, is the point here.
But like, you could have nixed him a little bit.
Yeah, but if it's going to be a standalone movie, and we're sure there was going to be a sequel, why wouldn't you have put her in there? She's so
right. So like someone that at least like recognizable to the folks that like may not have played in a long time, but like they know
see that fan and
right.
You know,
right.
Honestly, Katara and then Sonya, and then that was. I'm sorry, Sonya was a little disappointing because, bitch, where was the? Wait, am I thinking Street Fighter? There's that iconic like Sonya move where she cracks someone's neck with her legs. That's Sonya. That's like finishing move.
Oh
for
yeah,
Sonya,
where she
Thank you. Okay.
over,
Boom.
grabs him.
Thank you. Yes, where she like okay, so where she that is a iconic Sonya thing. And that they've always teed off to, and in this one they didn't at all. And honestly, when they had like her final showdown in her apartment, I was like, oh, now they're gonna do it. This is it, because she's gonna defeat her opponent. This is how she's gonna do it. They didn't do it at all, and I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute.
They're gonna try to wait to the sequel to do that stuff, and they're not gonna get a chance to do it.
I suppose, because it's like, because a lot of people, I mean, I feel like a lot of people who loved it were there just for the action, really, but people were just like, but if there's a sequel, I guess we'll watch it, just because, like, there's going to be more action in that one, but not because, a sequel. This one was so good, let's see the sequel. It's more like, it's going to be more action, like this one. We'll see it.
I don't know. I don't know if we needed a Mortal Kombat remake. I don't know if we needed it.
I think it was if it was more of a reboot and like a more solid like origin story, especially because the origin story has developed so much more, and now currently its current origin story is so much more fleshed out. They could have really done more with that, you know what I mean? Because they showed us Outworld, but like they showed us a brief image of Outworld. They didn't really talk about the fact that there's 3 other realms, and all this other stuff.
Like the Sahara Desert.
yeah, and then that's the thing. So then they talk about the Netherworld, which is one of the other realms, and it's like, but they barely really talk about it. You know what I mean? And like, there's all these things. So like, for example, Scorpion gets summoned back to the Nether realm, but like, if you watch like the Legends version, which is the animated series, which I suppose it takes place between certain installments and kind of bridges the gaps. Scorpion is essentially a slave to some necromancer in the Netherworld, kind of a thing. So it's like we see why he kind of goes back there, if you know that storyline, but they don't. As a movie, they don't give us any of that. So that's what I was missing.
I think it's a double-edged sword, because like you're wanting them to like do the storyline, because there is a storyline with the series. Right, like you want them to do the storyline justice, but like they're trying to make money, and they can't make money on the first one. They're not going to get a chance to do a second one. So like I get that, but like I think there should have been better like initiative with planning out the story building with this movie. Also, did anyone think like low-key think that Cole's wife was gonna like
be someone?
Get her own Arcana.
Yeah. Like, because that big fight scene where he finally like gets his shit together, like she was able to kind of step in for like at least 2 seconds. I was like, oh wait, is she gonna come in and do the deed?
Yeah.
Because I was really thinking that for a good like 30 seconds, like, oh man, she's gonna do it, and she's gonna get her mark, and she's gonna be better than her husband. And I'm like, yes, I'll take it.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah, they did none of the ladies any justice. They gave you Sonya, and that was it. And you know what? It's a little disappointing because of course it was the white lady. They gave the white lady all the props, and none of the other ladies in the motherfucking thing got anything.
Because they were all
Well, they were all fucking
Then
absent.
when the bad guy
Most of
side.
them were absent as it was,
Absent,
and then
yeah.
the few that were there, they just got like quick 1-2 scenes, and then that was it. That was a little disappointing, I have to say. Melina, we didn't see her do almost anything. She teleports a lot,
I
which
know,
we all know,
they-
but she did almost nothing.
Like the commenter said earlier, they did her dirty. They did. I mean, because she does have a rich backstory as being like the half sister of Katana, and like, but
I
she's
think
like
that's
half
necessary
demon.
for her character.
Not even just half sister. She was like created in the image of Katana.
Right.
Not,
Right,
she's not
right,
even
right.
like a
To be
real
her,
person.
but
She
then
wasn't,
also
like,
part
born of a
Tarkatan.
woman. Like, yeah.
So like, I mean, she's got a rich backstory, and they did none of that. And
And
like,
she's supposed to be one of the ninjas. That's the other thing. Like, each of the ninjas have like their colors and like, all
Right.
these things. So, and the animal that kind of associates with them and things. We got none of that. We got none of that.
none of that.
Lore and feel for it. I didn't like. That I didn't like.
She was just like a monster face, and I hated that for her.
Yeah. And then the other, what was her name? Not something. Not who I think is a playable character in more like the later installments, because I've never fought with her before. The one with the wings, the one who's flying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
The little split in
the
half.
bat one.
Yeah, her who we saw fly for 3 seconds and then get sawed in half.
Literally.
2 seconds later. So it's like, so what do you do? Does anyone know? Because
Doesn't matter anymore.
You have wings and you screech like a harpy, which you clearly are modeled after, and that's about it. That's all we know.
And that's all that
That
matters.
is
What,
And that's all we're
Victoria?
gonna get about you.
Follow.
Meanwhile, Shang Tsung was like, "Oh my," he praised her when they first introduced her in the movie. He was like, "Oh my daughter, this or whatever the fuck he called her," and he was like, "This, that, and the other thing." He praised her and this and that, like, "Oh, you're gonna do this, like you're gonna fuck somebody
And as
up."
soon as
And
she
meanwhile,
gets
it's like,
smacked,
I
she's
didn't see you. Thank you. I didn't see you do anything.
Okay.
So,
Only
I'm
thing
not a
that's
fan.
super awkward for me though, because it's like, yes, if they do get a sequel, that's cool and all, but they have already selected, like, let's say the 5 champions of Earthrealm and the 5 champions of Netherrealm. Now, how do you introduce new characters when the tournament actually starts?
Well, that tournament hasn't started yet, but that's
Exactly.
that, I will give them though that at the end of this one they were like, okay, we're going to look for more champions, and then obviously we end with the scene where we're like, okay, Nicolas Cage is obviously going to be in the next one, where they show
No, Johnny Cage, not Nick Cage.
Fine.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Hopefully
I
not
really
Nicolas
hate
Cage.
that.
No,
Hopefully
nobody
not.
wants Nicolas Cage there. Okay, but
Is he in the Netherrealm too?
he probably is at this point in his life. Anyway, but Johnny Cage, you know what I mean? So they coin off to that. So it's like, okay, we are going to see them come to some of the other characters
We might.
that we haven't seen yet. That's why
Maybe.
it's like, okay, we're going to see maybe Katara later, maybe Sindel later and things. But I just
Maybe.
I thought they were just so
I
much
need
more key to the world building
Smoke,
of the
Cyrax.
first
I need all of them.
installment. Thank you. But Annihilation,
All of them.
It just seems erratic to like
Okay,
start
really
the
fast.
entire movie.
Yeah. No, go
Like, oh, okay. Sorry, it seemed erratic to just start the entire movie like, we're gathering here. This is for a tournament. We didn't even see the tournament.
No.
It didn't even start. And then, so wait, what? And if it doesn't get a sequel, that's even worse.
Right.
Because I'm just like,
That's such an anticlimax. That's
Right.
so anticlimactic.
Because it's not doing well. It's not doing well as far as the box
It
office.
isn't.
As far as the
Yeah,
box office is concerned.
that's what I'm saying. The plot could have just been better written. You know what I mean? They could have been like, okay, if you're not going to do the tournament in this one, talk about how you are leading up to the tournament much more versus like it's very we're going to talk about the tournament like it's very imminent.
Like,
and it's like, no, give them more time.
like
much
in
further in the future. Sorry.
in the Mortal Kombat movie and like Mortal Kombat 9, you kind of get a vibe of this when like they all go to the island, Shang Tsung's island, and they're actually like interacting for a bit. You get to see like the stage of where things are gonna happen. If there was a bit of time for that, I'd have been like, oh snap, they're all gonna go down in front of like the audience of the guys in the masks and the spears, and it's gonna the fights are gonna be sick. Like, I feel like they could at least give us a little bit of sneak peek of where they're going with this.
I think the only problem with that is that this is technically before even that. This is supposed to be taking, Shasang is technically making preemptive strikes before they're even training for it.
He's trying to stop it from happening.
Yeah, he's like, but yeah, exactly. He's trying to even prevent it from like happening. So I think that they just did a poor job of showcasing that. It just felt more like, oh, we're training for this tournament that's definitely happening, not so much as it might not happen.
Shang Tsung said, yes, I want to kill their champion so they have to lose. But if you kill somebody with an Arcana, that just moves to somebody else, and then they're chosen for the tournaments. That kind of makes no sense.
So question
but then again, that could be more fleshing out, because as he kills them and takes their soul, wouldn't he then take their Arcana? So he can garner more than one Arcana, essentially.
So, you know what I mean? Question though, do you think this movie is going to get a pass with the box office, simply because we are, even though we're towards we're not really at the end of the pandemic, because I don't see this really ending, but because has been released during the pandemic, and we're not getting like folks in the theaters, and so it's just whoever has HBO Max at this point right now really watching it.
I feel like it's not getting the sequel they want.
I don't know either.
And that's what makes me mad.
Because
I think the sequel won't get the budget that we would hope it would, and thusly it's not going to be the sequel.
Because they're going to give us Mortal Kombat Blue Balls.
And not to mention, how long have they been working on this one, too?
Exactly.
Right.
They've been talking about it for a while now, and then it's like, now I don't think it's even a topic in people's minds if you go on social media. So I think they're going to really just take it as a loss.
Yeah,
it's such a shame, though. It's such a shame, because if they've been approved for the second one, they're going to make it anyway. But it's obviously not going to live up. Well,
it's not going to get the budget. It's
not going to get the budget, and without the budget, it's not going to be able to live up to the standard.
And if they do, it's just going to be something that they just secretly release on HBO Max, and like you're just like, oh, you're just going to fall upon it. You're going to stumble into
I'll be waiting for the Patreon
account.
I'll be waiting for the GoFundMe account.
And now the GoFundMe, bitch.
I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna do that to that GoFundMe. I'm gonna be like, if it happens, I'll watch it. But like, I'm not gonna put money in it.
No.
Actually, okay. So funny story, because it came off of HBO Max literally today. By the way, the 23rd. Yesterday was the last time you could see it on HBO Max. Now you can only see it in theaters. I was like, oh, I technically haven't seen it yet, because I kind of did the same thing that Julia did. We were talking about it earlier. I was like, am I going to have to pay $15, like, go to the movies and see this, like, in the movie theater in order to make this happen?
Right.
Luckily, no, because I am an internet wizard. But it was close. It was close. I was like, I might actually
wizard or pirate?
I'm definitely the latter.
Wizard.
Very long time.
I mean, I feel like piracy leads to wizardry, but
I was being facetious.
Exactly. Pirates of the Caribbean origin story do you have?
Exactly. That's my origin story that MK couldn't figure out. I was a pirate first that turned into a wizard. I discovered my Arcana.
Barbosa.
Who's?
Barbosa.
Barbosa.
Y'all are a mess.
Very much so.
I get it. Oh, there it is. Well, I sail the high seas of the internet. Whatever. Either way, I still watched this movie today without paying for it. Now, didn't I? All right. So that's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. So really fast, what I want to ask is, what is everyone's favorite character though? Who's your badass character from MK? Like, tradition, like any installment. Does anyone have like mine? I'm gonna start real fast. Mine is definitely Sindel, and then Katara. So Katara, because Katara was more in the first installment. Sindel, I don't think she was in the original MK. I think she came out in like the second one, the third, if I'm correct.
Yeah, she wasn't in the first one.
She wasn't. So the first one is definitely Katara, because those fans were like everything, which is also why when Suki was like introduced in Airbender, I was like, not this Katara bitch fucking coming out with these fans, like killing it. I was like, yes, like a badass character like that. We all love it. A badass bitch like that. I'm sorry, we love that shit, because only because they give men, badass men, we see them every day. They're always modeled in that way. When we see a woman, like, not just like be able to kick ass, but just be a kick ass character, we love that shit. So anyway, Katara for sure, and then Sindel are my top.
I would Jade.
So
I think
it is
Jade might.
Kitana. I just want
Yeah,
Katara.
you to
Did I say Katara a number of times? I haven't.
because that is
Oh no, you said
all
it.
day.
That is from
also a
Canada.
kick-ass character. However, not the same one we're talking about here.
But it is Kitana.
I got so hot just now. Okay, so it is definitely Katana and not Katara, although both are badass bitches. But Katana in MK is the badass bitch we're talking about, and then her mother Sindel. So,
Okay. Yes.
on to anyone else. If you got
Jade.
one, Sub-Zero, I would have to say, and that's why they did him like kind of justice in this one.
You said Jade, Bish? Did you say Jade?
Jade.
Ah! Okay. 'Cause
Okay.
I loved her too. I mean, I definitely played as her and Katana. Probably most. I loved Melina too. I loved. Oh, when I finally got to the stage where I could do Melina's, like she goes through the floor and comes up the ceiling and gets you. When I finally got that move.
By the way, the moves were probably the best part and like one of the hardest things.
I just need to find. I need to find an old gaming system and just plug that shit up. I
Dude,
really
you
want
need an
that.
emulator, Piracy 100.
I'm not gonna post. I'm not gonna say that all on the interwebs for folks to find me. And
I could also tear up some Nightwolf. I loved Nightwolf.
Yeah,
if any of you ever played with that, ooh, I loved Nightwolf.
Nightwolf, yeah.
And every so often, I'd be Johnny Cage, but
Johnny Cage was fun. He was a combo
fun.
character. Like he was a fun character.
Like I remember, like as a kid, like I wanted the ones with like either like the supernatural abilities. I wanted like Raiden, or I wanted one of the women. Like I wanted to be Jay, like because like you're a little girl and you want to play a girl on if you want to, like
Hello, yes, me. Hello.
But like they were badass and like they could totally do some carnage if you knew the moves for it. So it was just
Rain, yes.
Raiden was solid, and I have to say, okay, so who y'all enjoyed it? Wow, enjoyed it. Enjoyed Raiden's like special effects in this one?
Not at all.
Whatever.
Really?
Whatever.
I said it the last time I was here. That shield looked like Stargate SG-1.
It did.
Look, so recap of the first time we talked about this. It had a plot. It was a film. There were some effects.
They cast
it. And there were things.
There were some things in this film.
You go and you will see something.
You will see some things. You will hear some dialogue, and
I stayed awake for most of it. And
look, the third time around, I did too. Shit.
Okay, so here's the thing. Raiden was trash in this movie, but the potential of his special effects I did not hate. I liked the way that they folded into the lightning when they would port in and out. Like the one time when that was pretty cool. When Cole and somebody else, who was it? When they ported through Cole and Liu Kang. When Lao something, when he died, the one with the hat.
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. When Kung Lao died, and Liu Kang was like, "No, my brother, my cousin, whatever," and Cole was like, "No, you gotta come in. We gotta go. We gotta get out of here." And he's pulling him through, like the way that the lightning kind of folded over them and just kind of like negated them. I thought that was cool. I like that.
Liu Kang was like the main. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Liu Kang is honestly like the main character in most of MK, to be honest.
That's what I thought. Like the fact that
he was not here. Obviously.
Right. I don't.
They need to stop doing my Kung Lao dirty.
They didn't do Kung Lao as much justice as I love Kung Lao too.
Especially in recent installments.
Well, okay, so that's and that was the thing because they kind of did and they didn't. They didn't do him justice, like plot wise, but they did in what little plot that they gave.
A little bit of action. They gave him like several action scenes, but they didn't give a lot of story or plot line.
Well, that's what I mean. In the plot, like Liu Kang was just like, you need to bow to him. Like he's this, that, and the other thing. He's amazing.
That's his personality. He was on it, and he's a little snappy and angsty because he
that
wants
was
to be
so
the
funny
chosen
to
one
me
over Liu Kang.
That was so funny, and you could tell that they were starting shit just to see what happened. Just like because Kana was like, yes, Kana was funny, but he could.
But I feel like that
Clearly a
was
douchebag.
on purpose, you know, to kind of awaken that in Kano, you know, and that
Right.
that I thought was kind of nice. Like there's few parts where them was like, okay, they're writing, but now somebody is writing. Somebody wrote this scene. The other ones I'm not so sure about.
It's just ad libs the whole time. They're just going with it.
I think so, honestly. But like this one, I was like, somebody was writing.
There was
scene, so
there was dialogue. There were things that were happening to these characters and in the scene.
And last thing I will say is that the soundtrack on this one doesn't even touch the soundtracks of the original. I'm not even Annihilation. Okay, Annihilation. We don't know that movie didn't really exist, but there's a soundtrack for some random movie that we've never seen before. That soundtrack is awesome. The
soundtrack slaps.
Soundtrack for something. But the soundtrack slaps, but the movie we don't know. But the soundtracks are amazing. All of them. They didn't give me that in this one.
Oh no! Like your movie's whack and the soundtrack is lame too. No, you never get a sequel.
I heard like the coins to like the old soundtracks and stuff, but like no, it wasn't the same. It wasn't
it ain't hitting. It wasn't.
Also, I'm sorry, but it's also really hard to like recreate that 95 grunge feel that the original Mortal Kombat had.
Oh yeah,
Oh gosh, the whole soundtrack
is gonna be 4K.
Yeah,
I think you have to kind of work around that sometimes.
I know. I don't know, but some way somehow they could have done a little bit better of a job with it. But it's just funny because I've been listening to the soundtrack a lot since I've been watching it. At least I've been listening to it today for the most part, and I was like, oh, I do love this soundtrack because I did used to bump to that soundtrack pretty hard. The 95 one. So we are kind of coming to the end of things. So I guess our consensus is that it was a movie. We are here for campiness and action, which are things.
Can Dondre state his faves real quick?
Oh yes, can we? Oh,
I don't think they'll ever make it in a movie, but they're so bad. I love Kenshi.
Okay.
Okay.
Samurai with his ancestors behind him.
That's how it goes.
And
it's definitely a deep cut. Okay.
Oh, baby.
I think I confused people. They might think he's black now. My bad.
Oh, bitch.
And I love Bo Raicho.
That
is my guy.
Bo Raicho. Okay. But Bo Raicho didn't come in until like the 4th installment, didn't he? Which is
it was probably later than that. Was it?
Was it after the 10-year period? Because
definitely. It was on PS2 though.
Okay, those are all the ones that I don't know then. Sorry.
Because he came back in Mortal Kombat 10, and it was my life.
Oh, but they reference him. They reference him in this one.
I hope I see him if that sequel ever exists.
Well, that's the thing. Well, and perhaps the
limit doesn't exist.
Well, it could because if we're going to go by the way MK does things, they reset the storylines like 1,000 times. So this one will end the way it's gonna end, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, reset the storyline," and then we're gonna be back over there. So maybe.
How about Raiden just kills Liu Kang and then back in time?
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah. Let's do that one. No, let's not do that one. No, let's do that one and then make Liu Kang the main when we come back.
Right.
Instead of whoever Cole is. So
and in this new alternate timeline, Cole doesn't exist.
I'm okay with that.
I guess he could be there, but make him side character.
I'm okay.
Let's go back to roots. Oh, she said no. All right, y'all. So, we're gonna end with these notes. Mortal Kombat was cool for the most part.
I mean, I wouldn't say all that, but okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, no, it was okay. It was good. All right, I liked the campy Easter eggs. Mm-hmm. That's what. The fan service, I see
look for
that. I see that, but that's like all that they did essentially with this movie. Dre would have loved it. I think we all can agree. And other,
Yes.
He was there for the fighting.
he was there for the
And
fighting.
I would love,
There was some
I
good
would
fighting.
love a sequel as long as they like give the sequel a little bit more breadth and a little bit more, just like a little
slow
bit
it
more
down. Like
consideration
think about
as
it.
far as
Think,
the
WB,
the
think.
lore, and just think about it a little bit more. I don't care if it's a totally action movie. Give me a totally action movie, and that's fine.
What is with Warner Brothers and like not giving, like time and like build up? I don't know.
Just give me some breath.
Action,
They've worked on this movie for too damn long. Like, I don't think you could redeem yourself from fucking up like that.
Well, if they were able to, then it would literally relieve my Mortal Kombat blue balls that I have so hard right now.
Oh wow!
Chris is like, I'm trying to come /came/
like
Dolly,
I've been
/
trying. I've been trying.
whatever it is.
He said, "Where's my katana?"
Where's my katana?
My katana? I mean, what?
Right.
All right, guys. So,
Okay.
all right, we're gonna leave it with this. Well, this is our review. It was what it was. We're hoping for better for the next one.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. And we'll see what the next one shows. But thank you all for joining us on Geeking Out. Thank you, John Jay, for coming in. And taking Julia's place for this one because he didn't get to see it. But maybe he'll see it by the next one, and then we'll get a few words on what he thinks.
He's gonna really milk it, y'all.
We'll see.
That's
Right.
going to be like a good 15-20 minutes of him talking about what he's geeking out about.
I mean, okay, so but otherwise, thank you all for joining us. We had a great time. I've had a great time. Thank you. We will see you in 2 weeks. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications. Geeking Out. Look for us. We're crazy. We're chaotic and unprofessional, and
all the time.
And then also not, but whatever, make it work. So thank you all. Have a great night. Happy Monday.
Bye-bye.